Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting tea for you guys today, and I am thrilled to highlight one of my favorite tea shops. It's going to be Tallulah, and this week's blend is going to be called Mystic Moons. Now, since this is the beginning of the first Friday of February, I thought I'd do something a little fun. And this month I'll be highlighting fruit teas and flowery teas. So this one, Mystic Moons, is a blend of black and green tea along with papaya cubes, rose hips, and sunflower blossoms. So this has both fruit and flowers, and let me tell you, it smells incredible. When I first opened up the bag, it's straight up candy. And what's unique about this blend, something you don't see very often, is that it blends black tea with green tea. And usually you don't do that because you're supposed to steep them at relatively different temperatures and different times. So I'm going with the recommendation to brew this as to steep this as a green tea. So that's going to highlight more of the flowery flavors and the fruity flavors, along with the green tea without oversteeping it, as well as giving the black tea some of the flavor, but not full flavor. So I'm not expecting this to be a very strong tea, based on its recommendations. At least I didn't brew it that way. But it probably does have the capability of taking on the full 212 degrees for 5 minutes because of the black tea, but that would probably either make the green tea bitter or just completely black it out altogether. So this one was done for 3 minutes at 195 instead, and well, we'll see how it's going to go. So let's take a look first of all at what it looks like. You can see this is a very colorful tea. There is a lot of black and green teas. Ooh, that's actually a really good. Let me just see if I can move this onto my hand. It's a really good sampling right off the bat. You can see there's two different tea leaves in there. There's the green and the black. Now you have little bits of flower in here. So you can see, whoops, I just dropped it. Dropped my little flower. You can see which one is this one? This is probably the sunflower blossom. Because it's bright orange, kind of, sort of. It's hard to see you see that it's like a yellowish kind of color to it. And I saw it had the papaya in here. I have to dig a little bit. Here we go. There's the papaya. There's a little papaya chunk. Ooh, I love little pieces of dried papaya. This makes a great snack, too. Ooh, nice and fruity. Ooh, that tastes like candy. It just melts in my mouth. And along with, I don't know, is this papaya or is this... Yeah, this is also papaya. I'm looking for a rose hip. Here it is. I found a rose hip. So it's got a lot of like nice big chunks of flavor. And I'm gonna have to refresh. There we go. I'm not getting my hey Ma, welcome. Hey Sneha, welcome. Sorry, I wasn't getting my my comments because of course. But I'm getting them now, so feel free to chat me up. But yeah, as you can see, this is a very vibrant flavor. It smells so sweet. It smells like candy. And when you steep it, you can check out the wet leaf. You saw the little leaves that I had before. Well, after it's steeped, look at how large it gets. So you have a piece of green leaf right over here. That is so much easier to see. It expanded at least by 2. And talk about the sunflower blossom. There we go. Look at that. That is big and yellow and bright. So flowery, so sunny, which is what you'd expect from a sunflower, you know. I'm trying to find a nice black tea leaf. It's all sticking together, so I'm having some trouble. So it looks like the black tea is not expanding as much. It's still here, so it's probably just a shorter cut kind of black. Meanwhile, the greens are nice and nice and chunky. And it looks like this is, if I were to venture to guess, this is more of a Chinese green tea. Although it's hard to tell. Actually, you know what? It looks like it was, if I get a bigger piece. Oh yeah, you know what? This actually looks like it's more of a sencha kind of leaf. So I take it back. It looks like it's a Japanese green, which should go it should go pretty well with the black tea in the blend because it's going to be less vegetal, more seaweed, salty. So that should blend well with the black tea that's already in here. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and take my first sip. This should be very interesting. Oh, that smells. All I smell is like candy. Ooh, that's delicious. The blend of fruit and flour is really, really sweet. It tastes like you know those bags of fruit that it's like assorted fruit. Now papaya is the only fruit in here. I have to clarify. But that being said, it tastes like an assortment of different fruits, and that's probably because of the blend of black and green teas, along with the flowery rose hips and the sunflower blossoms. It's giving it a sweeter aroma, so it's blending well with the papaya that's already in there. That's more of a sugary sweet, but then it combines and you get like a more assorted fruit flavor, so it's not just papaya. Oh, this is very much like when you would imagine a nice fruity blend of tea. This is incredible. It kind of tastes like how Valentine's Day would be if it was a tea. Now, usually when I drink a Valentine's Day tea, it's either fruit or chocolate or something to that effect. This one is more on the fruit and flowery side. And even though it wasn't meant to be a Valentine's Day tea, this is definitely fitting for the season. It's nice and warm and sweet. It is also caffeinated because it has the black and the green tea. Oh, excuse me. I would say it's a moderate amount. Hey, Juliet, welcome. Juliet is actually one of the managers at Tilula. So if you want to say a little bit for it, just jump right in. Okay, so you say it's been a staple of a flavored tea at Tilula. Oh yeah, I can see why. It's very sweet. It's very hearty too. You know, you're getting there's no watery flavor whatsoever. You know, everything is well blended, so you're getting a nice hearty flavor from the green tea and the black tea, but it's also not overpowering the flour, which is what you get a lot of the time when you blend black teas alone, like a strong black tea with a flour. It's really, really difficult to get the blend right because the black tea tends to. So you should see if you have some at home and steep some. Oh yeah, absolutely, drink with me. It's an open invitation. You know, if you happen to have some, go for it. But as I was saying, like it's really hard to blend a flowery tea with a black tea because the black tea tends to overpower it very easily. Like I have never in my life seen like a black jasmine tea, and it's for that very reason because jasmine is a very fragrant tea and it's very strong for what it is. But in a competition with, like, say, you put it in an Assam, you're not going to taste it. It's just going to be overpowering. It's going to be, all you're going to get is the black tea. And it's just basically there for color. So it kind of gets wasted. Its potential gets wasted. But when you blend it with a green tea that's generally on the lighter side, it tends to be more more prolific. You can taste it a lot better than you would against a black tea. So Juliet, I wanted to ask if you're still here. I don't know if you're like, looking for it. You said Mystic Moves is the only blend in the store with both black and green tea. Yeah, it's hard to balance. So I just wanted to run it past you. Was this a Japanese green tea? I'm assuming so, just based on these, but like I see other. I can't tell if it's like just a blend of Chinese as well, because I'm seeing. Let me see if I can pull it out. I'm seeing green tea like this, also. You know, it's kind of like a little bit unfurled. I'm assuming that this is mostly Japanese, though. It's a Chinese sencha base, 99% sure. Chinese sencha? I thought sencha was purely Japanese. Because I've only unless it's a sencha, unless it's a green tea that's like produced the way a sencha would be in China rather than Japan. Then I would understand. But yeah, if they do that, then, you know, great. You know, I love how different countries are adapting to other countries' methods of producing tea. I've never heard of a Chinese sencha before, though. Oh, this is delicious. It's kind of like, I'm getting also like a little bit of a sense of a perfume. The way that it's how do I put this? Like whenever you drink a flowery, we're having a commentary from the from the peanut gallery over here. Whenever you drink like a flowery blend, there's this certain sensation of perfume that tends to be slightly bitter, depending on how well it's blended. Usually, it's not going to be too strong, but you get that little aftertaste of, like, say, a bitter alcohol kind of flavor, like a perfume, when you spray a spray and it's like everywhere, you can taste it slightly. That's the kind of sensation that I'm getting from the blend. Because you have like the rose hips and the sunflower that's in there. It's very much, it's very floral with the sweetness coming mainly from the papaya. And let me tell you, that papaya is very lively. I can't tell. I don't think what is going on? She's really passionate about tea. What can I say? She learned it from Daddy. But there's this kind of like a makeup flavor to it. Like a little bit of a thickness, a little bit of a. I'm assuming like I'm kind of getting like the taste of lipstick, kind of thing. And it's a little bit textured, a little bit, like I want to say, Okay, well, it was Chinese green, sencha inspired. Maybe I'm getting the blended teas mixed up. I mean, possible. You know, it's possible that it's just like you don't always know by memory where everything is sourced from. So yeah, I get it. If it's Chinese origin but produced in a Japanese kind of way, like that, I love hearing interesting things like that because it just makes the experience more fulfilling to know that other countries are adapting and they're networking and they're putting their own spin on it. I'm all for it, because then you get a different product, and it's just great because you like the way that this tastes. As I mentioned before, Japanese greens usually taste more like seaweed, and that's because they're usually grown where there's a lot of ocean water and the mist from the ocean and the humidity and all that is kind of sort of salinated, so you'll get that seaweed flavor. But in China, you don't get that a whole lot. So that's why I'm not getting a whole lot of the saltiness from it. It still tastes kind of like a green tea. It kind of tastes like a Chinese green tea, but it's not salty. If this is from Japan, then maybe my taste buds are just not picking up the saltiness. But that's more of a compliment to the blend because you're getting this sweet papaya and the floral scents from the sunflower and the rose hips. That's really culminating into this blend that's more sweet than savory. If you were to take out the papaya and the flowers, I would say even leave in the flowers. If you were to take out the papaya, this would be a completely different tea. Because then the floral would be overpowered by the black tea, definitely. And it would probably, if this is more of a seaweed tasting green, it would probably come out on the saltier side. But the papaya is making all the difference, in my opinion, because it's very, very sweet, and kind of juicy. Like as I drink it, it's very I could see myself eating this tea as like a taffy or what's that candy? The big, what was it? Big heads? The one with the balloon that's kind of like a long strip. And then you just like chew it and just snap off a little piece, and it's very gummy kind of a thing. So I'm getting it's that kind of flavor, but in a liquid form, and I kind of want that sweet kind of candy now. This is really, really excellent. And I love the way that it just settles on my tongue. Like, there's a very, very soft mouthfeel to it. There's no real texture to it, but there's more of a weight. And like, I'm getting more of like a sugary base from it. When I tasted that little piece of papaya before, it kind of looked like there was powdered sugar, but I'm thinking more it's from the drying process. See, like if you take a look right here, it looks like there's sugar in it. Like you can see around on the side and the edges, it's fruity, but in the middle, it looks white. That's probably oxidation from the drying process. But correct me if I'm wrong, it may even be sweetened. I'm trying to scratch some of the sugar off, if that is sugar. I'm willing to bet that it's not. That it's just straight up papaya, and this is a little bit of crystallization from when it's dried. But when you chew it, when you eat it like as it is, it tastes like it's been sweetened, but I don't think it has been. As far as you know, there's no sugar added. Yeah, like it's hard to believe it because it's so sweet. But that just goes to show for the kind of quality of fruit, because this is very much like it's essentially candy. It tastes like I would eat a bag of this, and I'm kind of craving it now. Like there's probably dried papaya treats. You see, I've had a dog now. This dried papaya candy or something at a grocery store. It's putting me in the mood to get some. And papaya, dried fruit is pretty sweet though. Oh, absolutely. And it's really coming out in the tea itself. I'm surprised because I've had a lot of fruity teas. Not so much papaya, but I've had like dried oranges or dried pineapple. But it's always been like little flakes, not the actual like chunks. It's always been like very, very tiny flakes. But those chunks are making a big difference. Because I'm like the flavor in my mouth right now. I don't even want to take another sip of the tea just yet, because right now I got a little piece of the papaya stuck in my tooth, and everything is just melting. It's super sweet and melting into my teeth, and I can taste it right on the side. It's an incredible flavor. And I'm savoring for as much as I can, and it's like, yeah, I know I have to finish a tea tasting, and you can't do that unless you drink the tea. But as a snack, like if you could embody this into just a snack, I would totally eat this. And I love how, as it cools off, it's still maintaining that sweetness. It's actually getting a little bit sweeter. As the taste buds react to sweetness, as the tea cools, it pulls out the sweet flavor more and more. So I'm assuming I'm probably gonna ice this later on. You know, I'll make a whole new cup just for myself and ice it, because I feel like this is gonna be really delicious when it's cold too. Oh, before I take my next sip, gotta do the Thomas taste. Gotta go. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay. That's a little bit surprising. I'm getting less sweet, more floral, and more tea when I hold it and exhale. Like the sweetness kind of dies down, and it becomes a little bit more savory, which is strange. I was expecting the sweetness to stay, but yeah, that cycled flavor comes out really nice. It's like, yum, Mystic Moons as a snack. I'm steeping some Guadalajara, another flavored green tea. I think I actually have some. It's either in my stash here or up in my office. I know I bought some before. I'm just trying to remember which trip. It was fairly recent, but I'm definitely gonna pick it up. Maybe even later this month if I can dig it out out of my million bags in there. It's because you're covering your entire palate. Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, like that's why I'm kind of like surprised by it, because, well, I mean, yes, sweetness is usually localized, I believe, by the front of the tongue, right? Sweetness, and then bitter is in the back, and on the sides it's sour or something. I don't remember my biology from like 4th grade. But yeah, it's like if it covers the entire palate, you get a more general sense, as opposed to just drinking it and going straight down. But that's what I find interesting, because, you know, you get the best of both worlds. You get, if you prefer the hearty, earthiness, or rather like a more a stronger flavor, hold it in. If you prefer the sweeter flowery, drink it straight and as fast as you can. And that's what... Oh, I got the areas correct? Woo! I do know things! But, yeah, like, this is... I love the culmination of this, because that also would probably mean that if you steep it different ways, you'll get different flavors, which is... It's the general idea. Hey, Valerie, welcome! That's the general idea when you steep any tea, but it feels like the differences are going to be opposite sides of the spectrum. You go from sweet to savory, rather than if you oversteep it, it'll be bitter. But I don't see this happening for. I don't see this happening for this blend because, one, fruit and flower is really, really hard to oversteep. Like, you can't mess it up. The only thing that would be affected would be the amount of taste you get from the green versus the amount of taste that you get from the black. So, given that I steep this as a green tea for 3 minutes at 195, you're going to get the lighter flavor. But if I were to do this for 5 minutes at 212, I'm probably going to get more of the darker flavor, and it's just going to taste like a papaya black. But you know, that's what keeps things interesting. You can test what you like. You can experiment. You can sweeten. You can unsweeten. Hey, Izzy, welcome. So it leaves a lot of room for experimentation, and it leaves a lot of room for like icing versus hot versus room temperature. You know, and it's got so many dimensions to this, and that's a rare thing for a sweet tea, because usually for a sweet tea you just get sweet. This is really one that keeps you guessing, kind of a deal. Yeah, I'm definitely going to recommend this. And what I also like about this is that it's a slow burn. What I'm just noticing now is that when you drink it fast, it starts off sweet. But then as time goes on, it gets a little bit more on the savory side. I'm getting more of the tea rather than the flower and the flower and the fruit. So that's very interesting, because like the sweet burns fast. I don't know if that's just a general thing, because I mean, like, I've had straight up fruit teas that last a while, because like the juices tend to fall onto the palate and settle, so it stays a lot longer. But the papaya, it burns quickly. I'm really, that's that's really nice. And that's what I mean about like discovering things, because it's, as I talk about it, these things are just popping up. And I love how this is getting me to think. It's been a while since I've had a tea that has had so many dimensions to it. Usually about this time I'd be struggling to describe in a different way, but this tea has like really gotten me talking, and that's a good thing for anybody who is looking for an interesting blend to try out. And excuse me, I drank too much. For anybody that's looking for a nice blend to really like think about and discover and test and experiment, this is what I look for when I'm looking for like a good quality tea, something that's over here, something that really gets my mind working. Oh, we got We got a little potty break behind me. So, it looks like since she's got to go, I do too. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. This has been an incredible blend. I will post the link in the description if you want to try it for yourself, and I definitely recommend it. So go ahead and give it a shot. It's got my stamp of approval. So until next time, have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you later. Bye.